All right, good morning, folks. Once again, we are back taking a look at the tropics. Today is Tuesday, September 27th, 2022. This is your latest update on Ian. This is a regional update for Northeast Florida specifically. We have a bigger update on the page that covers the latest on Ian in terms of all the meteorological stuff, the impacts to Western Florida, et cetera, in the broad brush. But we are going to go ahead and drill down on the Northeast Florida region and what we can expect from Ian. This is a forecast. It is my personal forecast. This is not the official stuff. You should definitely follow the National Weather Service, National Hurricane Center, and all your official outlets for the best information. I am just supplementary, and I should not be used solely in your decision-making process. But I wanted to go ahead and put out a product for Northeast Florida. I live there. I know a lot of people on the page live there. So we're going to talk about what our area specifically can expect from Ian in the coming days. So satellite presentation shows the cirrus shield of Ian is moving over our area. This is outflow associated with Ian. It's mostly high clouds. There's a limited rain chance today, not zero, but limited overall. So this is the last good day we have to prepare. So this is a day you definitely should be taking advantage of and using your time wisely today, because by tomorrow we're going to start to see rain on station and the conditions are going to get rough Thursday into Friday. So you don't want to be flopping around at the last minute trying to get ready, or if you're evacuating or going somewhere else to try to start to leave, today is kind of more the day to do that. Quick update on Ian and the broad brush real quick. We're not going to spend long on this, but again, this is the National Hurricane Center's latest advisory on Ian. Maximum sustained winds are 125 miles an hour. That is a Category 3 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson scale. It is moving through Cuba right now. It is about to exit the western coast of Cuba. It remains very powerful, very strong, and the radar imagery from Key West tells us the storm is still very well put together. Cuba did not interrupt the storm very much. It only briefly halted the intensification. It will resume tonight. Ian will become a powerful Category 4 hurricane in the southeast Gulf of Mexico tonight and early through the midday part of Wednesday. Now, as we go into Wednesday night, Ian is going to approach the west coast of Florida. Now, the landfall point is trying to shift a little bit further south. We're seeing more eastward sort of clicks on the progress of Ian and on our computer models, telling us that it might actually come in a little south of Tampa. Could be better news for Tampa in some respects, worse in other respects, but we do think that that landfall point is slipping south of Tampa, and that landfall will be sometime late on Wednesday into Thursday morning. From there, Ian either crawls up into northern Florida in some respect, or may kind of crawl across Florida and come out into the ocean. We're not exactly sure yet. That small track adjustment still matters for our area. If Ian actually stays further south, if Ian stays on the eastern edge of this cone, we will not see the worst of Ian that we would be able to see otherwise, but that's not something we can really truly predict. So I'm going to pretend for this video that Ian is going to stick somewhere in the middle of this hurricane center cone and come right up over our area and move into the southeast. So there's a couple things to note. Ian's going to be slowing down on approach. That means Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the storm is not going to be moving very fast. You can see Wednesday night, it's moving into West Florida. Saturday morning, it is in southeast Georgia. So this is, from Wednesday to Saturday, sort of time frame. This is about 36, 48 hours that the storm is going to slowly crawl up through our area. This is going to be a long duration event. This is not going to be, 6 hours of a hurricane and then we're done. This is going to be one of those pummeling events that lasts for a while. It's kind of like what Irma did, where it came up and it was just like, a day and a half of just crappy weather. Like it started one night kind of bad, and then it was bad throughout the night and through much of the next day. That is kind of what we're looking at with Ian and the impacts to our area. Most of our area remains under a tropical storm watch, and that will become a tropical storm warning likely tonight. Let's show you the overall early kind of like broad brush look at how the radar may look out. This is the NAM-NEST model. This only goes out 60 hours. I'm just going to show you how this may look over the coming days. This is throughout the day on Tuesday. High clouds streaming in. Most of the rain showers stay south of our area. This is going into the overnight hours. And now we're into Wednesday morning, where you can see the first line of light showers are approaching our area on Wednesday. The winds are also going to quickly pick up on Wednesday. We'll start seeing wind gusts, especially onshore, pretty strong. The heavier rain begins to approach our area Wednesday late morning, early afternoon. And this point of the time, we have this sort of prefrontal band associated sort of with Ian and sort of with a cold front. There's a cold front kind of latched over the area, and you have Ian's early push on shore here, creating kind of this 1-2 punch. You'll have some high winds and heavy rainfall in this band here that moves out. This is technically not Ian, but it is related to Ian, so we're going to call it that. And then that moves out, and then more of the classic tropical storm force bands begin to approach our area Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Thursday morning, and then we go into middle of the day Thursday, and you can see the heavier weather starts to come into our area Thursday night and into Friday morning. This model ends at 18Z on Thursday, which is about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we'll watch this model as it comes out, but that's the rough idea of the timing of everything. The tropical storm force winds likely will start by Wednesday night or early on Thursday if they don't start even earlier than that. So you really only got one more good day of planning and preparation. Let's go ahead and talk specific impacts, your wind, surge, all that stuff. We're going to use this product here from the National Weather Service. This is pretty easy to find. You go to the National Weather Service's homepage, go to Jackson, click on, put your zip code in or whatever, get the Jacksonville page, click on the briefing at the top, and then this is on the first slide. It says National Weather Service, like Tropical Outlook or something. And this product is pretty clean and pretty simple, shows the impacts for our area. Let's start with winds. Wind gusts for our area, guys, I'm expecting anywhere from 55 to 75 miles per hour. This is falling in line well with what their product has. The orange here indicates winds 38 or 58 to 73 miles per hour. I think we are in for a high-end tropical storm impact event with those gusts getting up to the upper end of tropical storm force, possibly grazing hurricane force. Now, for the sake of comparison, that is similar to what we saw in Hurricane Irma. I think we had a few wind gusts into the 80s in our area, if I'm not mistaken. But that was about what we saw. And I think that the upper 60s to low 70s is about where we'll land with Ian as far as the strongest winds that we will see. We won't see these winds all the time, but we will see these winds at times. And the winds will be sustained in that tropical storm force at least through a good bit of Thursday night, and Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, maybe even into early Friday morning as Ian passes by. This is going to cause significant power outages, tree damage, etc., all the things that come with the winds. This matches up pretty well with the European models. Wind gust expectations 65 to 75 miles an hour. Notice the coast gets a little bit worse. A lot of really strong onshore winds will create wind gusts near hurricane force at the coast, and the GFS shows kind of a lesser amount of winds, so I'm kind of wanting to discard this one for a little bit. And the National Digital Forecast Database shows as winds in the 45 to 55 mile an hour range, but this model does not go past Friday or Thursday night into Friday morning. So we will, you can see though down here the swath of stronger winds. This will likely push up into our area. So I'm confident in saying that the wind gusts will be anywhere in that 55 to 75 mile an hour range at times. Let's go ahead and talk about rainfall because that is the next biggest threat with Ian in our area. Possibly the biggest threat to our area is actually the rainfall. We are in the potential for moderate to major flooding rain over the next couple of days with this cold front near us and the way Ian is going to progress over our area. We're going to start seeing rain again Wednesday night, and that rain is not going to end until probably sometime on Saturday. So we are talking about 3 or 4 days of consistent, heavy tropical rainfall. How does this look? European model, 10 to 15 inches is what the widespread thing says for our area. Now, don't specifically look at the colors exactly where you are. You live in like the Fruit Cove area. Don't go, oh well, I'm gonna get 20 inches of rain because this model says. It's just kind of guessing. What you should do is look at the broad brush, 10 to 15 inches of rain. Okay, that means that in a tropical storm, you can get even more than what's advertised by the large scale models. So if the model is telling you 10 to 15, you should be able to expect up to 20. Just how it works. It is going to be a lot of rainfall. It is going to be one of the most prolific rainfall events we've had in some time in our area, probably since Irma. So, widespread river flooding, widespread flooding from heavy rainfall expected in our area. The GFS is trending a little bit less rain, and they're a little closer to what some of the other forecast outlets are putting out. I would lean high on the rainfall event for us. It's going to be pretty rough when it comes through. Weather Prediction Center's forecast also in that 8 to 10 inch range, with some areas, especially the South Fair area, getting 13 plus. So 10 to 15 is my call. That's what you should expect. And that's going to fall over 3 or 4 days. Not going to all fall at one time, but it's going to pile up and it's going to get kind of rough when it does. Let's go ahead and look at the other impacts. Let's go ahead and go to storm surge threat, and that is going to be a 3 to 6 foot storm surge as possible, especially at the coast. I've been saying that I didn't think this is going to be as bad as Irma or Matthew for the surge. I'm starting to wonder if maybe that wasn't the best call. I still think the coast won't get it quite as bad as Irma because Irma was such a big storm, and the trajectory it took was a little different than what Ian will take, but it's going to be a prolonged easterly wind, onshore wind flow event, and we have astronomically higher tides. The tide comes in, it tries to escape, the winds push it back in, It goes back up, it tries to escape, the winds push it back in, and this cycle and dance repeats over and over and over for the next couple of days. And that is going to lead to a slow but steady water rise at the coast. It's not going to be one of those surges that just come flying in all at one time. That water's just going to creep up, creep up, creep up, and it's going to be kind of rough. All the places that typically flood, your St. Augustines and stuff, you could expect some significant coastal flooding with this. And if you live on the St. Johns River Basin, you can definitely expect a significant water rise. I think the river basin is probably going to be closer to that 6 foot range. I think you're going to see a really rough water rise around the St. Johns River Basin from the double pronged impact of the freshwater flooding potential from the storm and from the onshore wind component from the storm. So you're going to look at a 1-2 punch, and I think that the St. Johns River Basin is under a significant threat of serious flooding over the next few days, and definitely something to watch out for if you live along the river basin. And finally, tornado threat is elevated. Anytime a tropical storm comes through in this manner, you're going to have tornadoes. Ian is no exception. I've yet to see anything for our area that screams like massive tornado outbreak, but definitely some significant amount of tornadoes is going to be possible. Best thing, really the only thing you can do is have ways to get alerts, more than one, and just pay attention, because there is really, these things are fast, they're hard to detect, they typically don't last very long, but they will be in these bands and they will be a threat over the next few days. So just something we got to watch out for. Storm Prediction Center is going to have some outlooks for us, and it looks like, we'll have some threat of tornadoes over our area for the next few days. So that's what I got for you guys this morning on the Northeast Florida update. This is high-end tropical storm impacts. Again, I don't think the hurricane force winds sustain over our area, but I think that we will at least see this tropical storm force wind gust to the upper edge of tropical storm force at times. We are going to have widespread power outages. We are going to have flooded roadways. If you're getting preparations done, it's got to be done today for the most part. You'll have some time tomorrow if you don't mind getting wet, but by tomorrow night, those winds are going to pick up. When the winds pick up the tropical storm force, the bridge is shut down, travel becomes difficult. So if you're evacuating or you're going somewhere else, you might want to get going. And just remember, guys, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. The conditions will suck from Wednesday. It'll suck throughout Thursday. The worst peak, quote unquote, being sometime on Thursday night most likely. And then it looks like, Friday conditions may try to improve, but really more into Saturday before conditions really improve. It's going to be a 3 or 4 day period of heavy rain, high winds, and the threat of tornadoes. Please take it seriously. Please respect it, and I will update this forecast as we need to be. If the cone changes and shifts as Ian takes a much harder hook to the right and south of us, our conditions may improve. If it doesn't, we're in for a ride. So that's what I got for you guys this morning on your Northeast Florida update, and thanks for watching. Have a good one.